Yeah.
No.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Are you guys talking dicks again? You guys talking dicks again?
No, we're doing
Thickness?
We will talk about the dicks. We're talking about my hair.
I see. Okay.
We can talk about your dick.
Mine's not as thick as Jay's.
It's wide.
No?
Actually, I think it is.
You think it is?
You got a very wide dick.
Very
Very
thick.
They call me the tuna can. You
It's
guys.
just not long.
The tuna can.
Yeah.
Not the
Wider
Coke.
than it is long.
Tuna can's bigger than the Coke can. That's bigger than Whiny Rebate.
Well, it's just the tuna can's not long. It's just wide.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like if you
know
watch
what I mean?
Super Troopers, you'll see Kevin
That's what I'm
he
talking
doesn't have a
about.
dick. He's just got a head. It's a shiitake mushroom that just bang right.
Yeah.
We're rolling, right?
I say we just go right
we
into
good?
it.
Why not?
We're in the middle of Dick Talk. We got the Broken Lizard guys here. Welcome, Chicago. Welcome home for Jay.
Thank you.
Yes.
You guys, I know, are on a rock band tour right now, going all over the world. How does it feel to be home for you, Jay?
Well, we showed the movie last night, and the Chicago audience is totally.
Say it's the best audience.
Best. Well, they're not embarrassed. They're not like, oh, you can't say that. They laugh at all the right places.
Yeah. Well, I saw your tour schedule. Like, you guys still got that in you? That's a fucking grueling schedule.
This is the 8th movie we've toured on. And the studio has really figured out, they give us a screening, then they give us a party, and then we're willing to show up for the press the next
And
day.
I heard you guys really got after it hard, and you're really feeling it today.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
That's what happens about every night. Yeah.
Chicago ate into us a little bit last night.
Yeah.
You got to when you're back home. You're
It's the only time we
beautiful
hang out
weather
together.
too.
Anyway. No,
right?
we don't hang out otherwise. So here it is.
There you go.
It's a good
So
time for us.
the movie you guys are talking about, you guys screened it yesterday, and then we're at the Barstool bar last night. It's Quasi. Talk to me about how it was made. It's releasing. We're recording this on Wednesday. It releases a week from tomorrow on Thursday.
4/20.
4/20. Oh, perfect. Was
Remember that
was
one.
that intentional?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, they released Super Troopers 2 on 420, and it ended up doing really well for them. And now that's our holiday, I guess.
That's your
Oh,
guys'
no
holiday.
shit.
Just get a bunch of people stoned and
Sit at home, turn on your TV.
turn it
perfect.
on. And
Yeah,
it's
get a
it's perfect
pizza.
getting high and watching
It
a
is.
movie.
Who was the one that wanted to make the medieval film?
We did it. We
All of you?
Well, we wrote it like 20 years ago.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, when we were a sketch comedy group, and we loved like putting wigs on and costumes. And that was the kind of thing we did originally, and then we went and made cop movies. But originally that's what we wanted to do. So that script's always been sitting around. And
Wow.
But that was Monty Python was. I mean, we were growing up. Holy Grail and Life of Brian were were two of the comedy movies.
Yeah.
And so that was always, like the idea of doing a movie like that and playing multiple roles was something we always wanted to do.
Yeah, once I initially saw that you guys were
It
double
threw
casted,
me off
I
a
was
few
like,
times.
Is that
Yeah.
fucking And then once I settled in, it was jarring at first.
yeah.
I was also high when I watched it. So I was expecting, a different cast member or different actor for each.
fuck is this?
Like,
What is going on?
These guys look really fucking similar.
It is. You realize it's confusing if you're high and you just sit down and watch this movie because it's like, where am I? When am I? Wait, this guy's this guy. This guy's that guy. I mean, it's.
Who is the first duplicate character in the movie? Do we know this?
The first time you see.
I think it was Kevin, no?
I wanted to say Kevin.
because you're the jester. So you show up as the jester.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess so.
No, it's the Pope.
We also loved Mel Brooks growing up.
Oh, Mel Brooks is the best. He's a
Stein
legend.
and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
So how many do you guys have canned right now? Like films that you guys have had just ready to go for like 20 years?
You mean
Scripts?
how many
Yeah,
other
many scripts. Yeah. Like how
We
many?
have, we have 6 other ones.
We got a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
We
Dude,
were talking about that other day.
so has this streaming service thing, has that been just like monster for you guys? Because I know the crowdfunding was what went into Super Troopers 2.
Yeah.
But this whole like new revolution of
It
streaming.
gives you more chances, I mean, for us, part of it was we made the deal for the movie in the pandemic anyway, so there was no theatrical.
Yeah.
And they said, you guys want to make this movie? Let's make a streaming deal, because nobody even knew if we were going back to the theaters at that point. But now it just seems like it's a huge opportunity. Like, look, our audience didn't really go to the movie theater for Super Troopers. Everyone discovered it, on DVD and whatever. So that's kind of the way people watch our movies. And
They came for Super Troopers too, though.
they did.
They did go to the theater.
It's well good.
Yeah.
Now, because I think I saw an interview Matt Damon said like that's why shit like that really doesn't get made, because so much of the money came from the DVD sales on the second.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw that interview. Yeah.
So was it just like?
Yeah, I mean, we were right in the Super was right in the heart of the DVD thing.
Yeah.
and it was huge, and everyone passed it around or whatever, and that's what happened. And then the DVDs went away, and then they had to figure out how to fill that gap.
Yeah, you had to have Super Troopers on DVD. Like as a kid,
I
growing
still
up.
have it at my dad's house as we speak.
Well, and that's how it became popular. Like it did fine at the movie theater. The studio was very happy with how it performed, but it was like 2 or 3 years later, after the DVD had just been passed around and became like a staple at people's parties, that like we really started getting recognized, on the street and things like that. It was essentially a viral video, but for the aughts. Can I say the aughts?
You can say the aughts.
Yeah,
for the aughts.
You just can't swear.
No, yeah, you can't swear.
No,
No
so
swearing at all.
going into this movie, well, all your guys' movies really, and this is something that I wanted to talk about because one of you guys brought it up. Can we swear prior to the mics being recorded? But how much do you guys push the envelope? Where, especially in the like political and social climate we're in right now, like. Do you guys teeter on the edge of cancellation, or are you guys like
we haven't gotten in trouble for anything?
That's
and
true.
so we kind of go all the way.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to tell the joke that we wrote when we're alone. We're trying to put that joke on screen where possible, and sometimes it's just not possible. And we'll do a very close version of that joke. But we're always trying to do the pure one.
But our philosophy has never been to be hurtful.
Yeah.
Right.
Good-natured.
Yeah, totally. Like if you watch our movies, you'll see like we actually have early drafts of scripts where like our characters butt heads with each other, and they were like, no one wants to see that. Like actually, it should be about like a group of guys that you want to hang out with and have a good time. And so even like Super Troopers, where we fuck with people, we don't do it until they're acting badly, and that's when we'll start to mess around with people's heads, or until somebody attacks us.
You're a sweet comic, Steve.
I am.
It is.
That's what I'm known for.
sensitive.
Sweet
So
comedy.
People love sweet
Adorable.
comedy.
A sweet
Be
comedy.
nice and you won't get canceled. Just
Be
be nice.
nice.
Just
It
be
is
nice.
true though. Like you guys do give off like they're just like the fun group.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
fun and they're not
If
like
it's mean spirited,
yeah.
then you know.
I was talking to you
Correct.
guys to Alex before you guys came in, and it's weird because I'm like, I knew the exact kind of interview we were gonna have today just based on watching you guys act. I'm like, those guys are all good dudes. Like, I got a handful of questions written down I want to make sure we get to, but I know we can just
I don't
bullshit
know.
with these.
Is anybody a bad dude?
Well, you know
dude.
when you're gonna have like a stiff or you
Yeah.
know some I don't know, whoever.
Right.
But I knew coming in that you guys were gonna be the fun group.
Yeah, and that's why we've been together for 30 years, and then if somebody in the group was insufferable, they just wouldn't be in the group. You know?
Right,
So
that's true.
it's-
Yeah. Know how that works.
There were
also
some
like-
fire
Hanging out with each other.
Have you guys ever butted heads like real life? Like
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
brothers.
all the
You
time,
know.
Yeah, we
Family,
we were talking about we had we went to Boston with Super Troopers, and these two guys got into a fist fight. Videotape. After we were at a bar,
Tell 'em
a
who
few
won.
drinks
With each
Tell
other.
them who won.
They got in a
won.
fist fight, and
I'm
like
pretty sure I
people
won.
videotaping, like guys rubbing guys' faces on fences and
But it
shit
wasn't
like that.
angry. It wasn't like we were fighting.
Well, here's what
Well, it
happened.
turned into that. I think
Here's
it
what
started
happened.
friendly, and then it went. You know.
I don't know.
It's
I
actually
still
incredible.
Think it was like
So we were in Boston, and I'm a New Yorker. He's a New Yorker. We're Yankees fans. We don't like Boston, right? But so
Who does?
so because Boston is here. This is an example of Boston, right? So like we were like, we're getting fucked up tonight and what the plan was. This is on the Super Troopers tour. We're gonna go to the House of Blues, talk about our movie, and then introduce the band that's on stage. No big deal. So, but we're getting pretty fucked up at this Mexican food restaurant, drinking these margaritas, and we go to the House of Blues with Kevin's parents. And the bouncer, like we're there for a sanctioned event. He's just checking our IDs. His mom walks up and he's like, see your ID. She's fucking 60 years old.
Yeah,
He's like,
mother.
Let me see your ID. She doesn't have her driver's license on her. And he's like, you can't come into the bar. And we're like, what?
Come on.
And we're like, she's 60. He's like, you can't come into no ID, no bar. and like our tour manager, who was like a seasoned British guy who toured with like The Who and the Allman Brothers, he's like, step out onto the fucking sidewalk. If I fuck you up here in the bar, I'll go to fucking jail. But come down to the fucking sidewalk. And like that bouncer got fired, whatever. But we're fired up now. Stolhansky's like, you know what we should do? Let's go on stage and pull our dicks out and say Boston sucks. So we do that.
Not the best idea I've ever had.
So we do that.
It's a great idea.
I think it's a good
Stolhansky.
idea.
Which we have
Great
on
idea.
video.
idea.
I have
Oh,
on
shit.
video.
Great
Thanks,
idea.
guys.
So the tuna can dick is out there. Is what
No,
you're
no,
telling me.
it was these two guys.
just the two of us.
They were announcing.
Oh, fuck, I got
we were just
excited.
drinking.
But now we're riled up.
Yeah, we were a little riled up.
The bigger dicks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
now we're riled
Bring out
up.
the big guns for
and
that
we go
stuff,
to a
you know.
bar. But here's the thing: Jay was not with us. Jay was doing something. He was back at the hotel working on something.
I think he was doing his nails.
Well, you're flying in, right? You got to
No, we
get
were
a
coming
manicure.
off a 6-week drunk tour, and this was the last night of the tour. And so I was like, I'm not going to the House of Blues. I'm going to go shower, and I'll meet you at the bar after. So that's what I did. I came in dead sober, to a mob scene because these guys were out of their minds.
We were hot.
And Eric, wouldn't stop telling me that he'd shown his dick on the stage. And I'd already seen it 3 times on video. And he's like, did you hear what we did? And I'm like, yeah, I've seen it 3 times. And he's grabbing me. And I'm like, I'm gonna. And so I pull the sweater over his head and start bopping him on the head, right? And then the bartender looks at me and he goes, you're cut off. And I'm like, I haven't even had a drink yet. And so he throws us
One
all out
sober
of the
guy.
place.
Yeah.
And this guy won't stop coming. Did you say what we? I saw it. And he kept coming at me. And I'm like, I'm going to put you down. And I put him down.
Dealing with drunk people sober is
It's
the
the worst.
absolute worst thing.
It's a
on there.
nightmare.
But it was a sneak attack because
a sneak
Stolhansky was
attack.
pushing him, and Jay's, like, don't do it, I'm gonna get you. And finally Stolhansky's like, and turns his back and begins to walk away, and that's when Jay struck.
And it got me as I'm walking away. And I still won.
But literally, he rubbed your face on a chain link fence.
You had a waffle iron on your
sorry.
face.
I was
be
like, you
fair-
have to give up. And he goes, I'm never giving up.
To be
Never,
fair, I'm like,
never.
I'm
And
a
I said,
huge
well,
Paul
you're-
Newman fan, and in Cool Hand Luke, he doesn't give
He
up.
doesn't give up.
He doesn't
Right.
give
But
up.
I was
Meanwhile-
like, you're on television tomorrow, and I'm going to rub your fucking nose into the fucking fence unless you give up. And he goes, I'm not giving up. And I'm like, all right, motherfucker.
Well, and then
Newman doesn't give up. I'm not giving up.
yeah, so his face is pressed into the area where the chain link fence meets the sidewalk, and finally he's like, fine, he's gonna give, and Jay's like, okay, I'm releasing you, and Jay releases him, and Stolhansky comes at him from the ground again, and Jay puts his face back down in the same spot. Now people are driving by, and we're like, it's
looking.
okay. They're
okay.
friends.
Oh, yeah,
They're
yeah,
friends.
yeah,
They're
they're friends.
They're
They're
friends.
Keep driving.
We're workshopping a bit. No, we're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, but so we had it from 2 different angles on video, which we have of him kicking his ass hard.
So sometimes we get into fights.
So you
still
guys,
Wrong answer.
You
Still
should
think I
kick
won.
you should fight the Happy Madison guys.
that'd be
good fight.
like Celebrity Deathmatch. You guys
Yeah.
remember Celebrity
good.
Deathmatch?
That'd
That'd
be
be an
good.
awesome one.
That
Yeah.
should be a movie. There should be like a
Yeah.
movie with the 2 crews. And you
Yeah,
guys should,
Alan
like,
Covert and
yeah.
all those guys.
Have you guys ever like ran in
What's
like,
the guy with the
or you guys got beef?
Yeah, Lochran, John
No, we know
No, no,
Sandler.
the great
guys.
Yeah, we know all those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That'd
we
be-
know.
those guys are
Sandler's
great.
the nicest guy on earth.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sandler's
nice guy
great.
ever.
Yeah, they
All the Dante.
we after we made Club Dread, or which kind of tanked.
I like Club Dread.
It was great. We love it,
thank you.
but it didn't do well.
It opened up against the Passion of the Christ,
Oh yeah,
and the Lord
yeah.
fucking
Sandler-
smote everything.
But Sandler was a
Called-
fan of Super
he called-
Troopers.
He called me up.
Yeah.
And they're like, I have Adam Sandler for you. And I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I know it's Lemmy. He goes, yeah, I saw your movie Club Dread. I got a popcorn, and it was really good. I mean, I wouldn't worry about all the reviews. And I'm like, this is Lemmy. I mean, I'm like, it's got to be Lemmy. And then eventually I realized it was him.
That's
if
awesome.
you ever need any help, give me a call.
And so he came on. We originally developed Beer Fest with him.
Oh no!
And,
shit.
Oh, I did not know that.
And for a while, he was the producer on Beer Fest. We did with this company, and then we moved over to a different studio. But he's the guy who was like, "Come on, let's make something," and he got Beer Fest up and running for us.
No shit. That's awesome.
So
Great guy.
Adam
great guy.
Sandler, huh?
Do you
It's all
guys
coming together.
do you guys some people I know they take offense to when they're called by their character in real life. Does that bother you guys?
No.
At all?
You're not
because we
far
wrote
wrong.
it. I mean, we wrote it. You know, what I mean, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it's not like we were just casting the part.
We're
We
just
wrote it.
grateful they still let us do this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, we don't take offense at anything.
Yeah, because that's a thing. Like I'm sure you guys know people
Oh, all the time.
in
Yeah.
Hollywood who we actually have someone coming. Well, never mind.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think it's weird. I do think it's weird when we do a stand-up comedy show, and they introduce you like, oh, Steve Lemmy, and you come out there and you do your whole routine, and then afterwards like, hey Mac. I'm like, you do know my name is Steve. That's the only time I think it's weird, but I don't get mad about it.
yeah.
Sounds
Kevin,
like
what?
sounds like you do get a little bit.
Sounds like you're all pissed
Maybe
off
a
about
little.
that.
Yeah, he gets angry. Kevin, what quote do you get the most that people? come up
I
to
get
with?
chicken fucker all the time. I get liter cola all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fine. Like people ask us, does that make you mad? But we wrote the lines. The fact that people remember them and it's flattering.
20-something years
Yeah.
later, yeah.
I mean,
We even sit at a baseball game and you'll be walking by and people start yelling, "Hey, chicken fucker!" Yeah.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, but like when we did our crowdfunding thing for Super Troopers 2 years ago, and one of the things rewards that we offered is that if you donate money, you get a video of me calling you chicken fucker, and we had 1,200 people who got that
shit.
reward. I sat for 3 days, and I made 1,200 videos calling everyone and their brother a chicken fucker. Hey, Jim, you're a chicken fucker. Hey, Paul, you're a chicken fucker. And it just went on forever and ever.
But we were there for moral support on like the first day. By day 2, nobody showed up to help.
See,
It's ridiculous.
See, we did a 2000s comedy movie draft. What do you think?
gotta
in
explain
your
that a little
opinion?
more.
Well, you know what a draft is. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, the brackets.
We drafted like movies though. We did 2000s comedies movie and Super Troopers. Well, I was going to ask what went number 1. Where did I think Super Troopers went? But you see
there
right
it is.
there.
How do we do it?
wait.
So it went number 16.
Okay. All right.
Respect.
You're up
20?
with
Yeah,
some
yeah.
fucking.
Nice.
Like
Some heavy hitters.
What do
Yeah,
you see
heavy,
on that
heavy
list? That like super bad.
I love Step Brothers. I
Yeah.
love
Oh,
that
I
fucking
love
movie.
Step Brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, The Hangover's great. Borat.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wedding
it's a great
Crashers.
list.
I think Jackass 1 to me, like I laughed so
Oh my
hard
God, I
during
love
It's a
Jackass
hard
1.
movie.
Anything look out of the ordinary on there though? No.
Let's see. I love
It's the one on the
Zoolander.
bottom left.
The bottom left, that is I Love You Man.
Oh, you're in
Jay.
that movie. Are you in that
I'm
movie?
in that movie.
You're in that movie.
Oh,
Chad.
hey, there we go.
Shrek might be.
Way to go.
Yeah, I would say Shrek looks a little off, right?
Looks off animated, yeah, but
Oh, yeah, right.
funny.
It's a
Eddie
comedy,
Murphy.
though, right?
Yeah.
What's under? Oh, is that Forgetting Sarah Marshall under Virgin?
Yes.
Was it Team America in?
It did not get
didn't make
drafted.
it?
You think that's a snub? huh?
Oh, yeah, I think it's a snub.
No, like
I think that's
Caddyshack
top
or
10.
That's
Well, it's only
another
2000s. 2000s.
Is that was that
Oh,
2000? I think that was
gotcha.
2000. Yeah, that was 2000.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a snub. I
You
would
guys
take
should
that.
do something with Matt and Trey. That'd be a home
Oh
run
yeah,
too.
God,
Oh my God.
Yeah,
We,
they're so great.
When we first arrived in LA, Steve and I, a friend of, it was basically George Clooney's assistant, and we were told to look her up when we got to town by a friend of ours named Duff, who was an MTV VJ. Name drop. And so we get there, and on the first night, we're rolling into LA to move into LA, and Amy calls us and says, we're going to a party. And we've never met her. So she drives us up to this house, and it was Trey Parker's house. And he walks out with a salad bowl full of ecstasy. And we all took it, and we're like, we kind of like LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, Weird Al was at that party.
Weird Al was there.
Met Weird Al. And then I met 2 porn stars, but I didn't know they were porn stars. And we were at the fridge
Liar.
getting beers. And I was like, are you actresses? And they looked at each other like, yeah, we're actresses. I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
are we
really?
actresses? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
was
great.
naive.
I remember it was like 6 a.m. and the sun was coming up, and he was standing at the edge of a pool watching like a nude woman swim in the pool. And I stood next to him. And he goes, "LA's pretty good."
You guys got to have stories on stories
But
on
you've
stories.
never been to
like
another
this
party
kind of
like that
stuff.
again.
Do you guys still live out there, everyone?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. There you
Yeah.
go. So that was like your welcome to Hollywood moment kind of thing.
Yeah, it was,
That's
yeah,
great.
It was good.
No, that's great.
We're getting the call to the pen right now. Jay, you got to throw out the first pitch of the Cubs game in a
Yeah,
few
baby.
moments.
Yeah, baby.
You said you're not nervous.
I'm not nervous.
Have you
at all.
have thrown out the first pitch or you haven't?
I have thrown out the first pitch a couple of times, 3 times, but
At Wrigley?
At Wrigley,
Wrigley?
I think I have. I think I have. In fact,
Have you
yeah.
ever gotten the
Shelby
ball?
says
have,
no.
have you gotten the ball to the catcher ever?
The last time I threw it a little high and outside. My strategy is stand on the mound and throw it as hard as you can and see what happens.
I was going to tell you to do that, so I did
tried
it
that
last
last year, and
No,
he-
I didn't
it was-
try that. I lobbed it, and I started thinking. I got the yips, and I yoinked it a little bit.
I'm gonna hurl it.
Yeah,
Knob
see
block.
that's
right there?
that pitcher
With the
that.
Chuck Knobloch?
All right.
That's that
I
white
know. Yes, I knob blocked it. That's
That's your
exactly what I
pitch.
did.
My
that's your pitch.
my dream is that they're like, wait a minute, what are you doing later today? We might need you. Put
Yeah.
me in the
Yeah.
bullpen,
Stick around,
put him-
kids.
You got the
Stick
outfit
around.
on.
Which happens in Chicago. You remember that goalie that got called in?
Yeah,
I was
Blackhawks.
at that game.
And we
I
got
was at
Rookie of
that
the Year.
game.
Rookie of the year.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's at White Sox Park.
Wait, this is you?
Yes, this is him. He threw it out of the White Sox Park.
And that
last year.
pitcher,
Shit.
it's one of the Sox pitchers who is the catcher, and he's 6'7" tall.
That's all right. No, it's better to overthrow than underthrow.
That's what I said. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to skip it like a
Early
salad.
release, yeah.
Totally.
But Jay, we got to get you out of here. Good
Yeah.
luck with your
Okay.
first pitch.
Thank you
We'll
very
we'll
much.
have it on TV. Maybe we'll show it on TV. I don't know if
be
you
fun.
show the first
Jay,
pitch.
good
but
luck,
thanks
man.
for coming in.
Jay, good luck, buddy.
We'll
Throw
be
a strike,
watching.
pal.
Thank you, Jay, for
Don't
coming
bounce
in.
it, Jay.
Are these guys staying?
Yeah, well, I think
For
everyone's
like
gotta
2
go.
minutes,
Yeah,
and we'll
okay.
wrap
Great.
up.
Well, you got something else?
Good luck out there, Chandler.
Yeah, so let's just, before we wrap up, let's give the final pitch on, it releases a week from today on Thursday the 20th, April 20th,
420.
420.
On Hulu, so you don't have to get off the couch even.
Nope.
I know.
Everybody's got Hulu.
Nice.
Yeah.
Steal your friend's password, smoke a J, and
get a pizza.
get a pizza and watch it. I watched it last night. Very funny.
Good.
Right.
It's straight Broken Lizard entertainment,
Broken
and if that's up your alley, you'll love the movie. So
How did that name come about? Broken Lizard.
I know.
Jay just left.
Talk to the dick who just walked
Oh,
up.
No, we sat around for many days, coming up with a bunch of names, and then we settled on what? Chocolate Speedo?
Speedo.
Yeah.
And then he went to go make the poster, and he just made up his own name, Broken
was-
Lizard. And
No
he
shit.
says it's because of his love for Monty Python. I don't know if that's true or not, but he did that. And he came back and get the poster and said, "What the fuck? What is this? Broken Lizard? I don't know what that is." And now
That's
we're stuck with
awesome.
it. Here we are, 30 years, 20 years later.
Hey, I think it did the trick, right?
It worked.
He did all right. He did all right. He did all
Yeah.
right. Yes.
Well, Paul, Eric, Steve, Kevin, we appreciate you guys
Thank you so
stopping
much.
in.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
do.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Next time you guys are in town,
Yeah.
we'll do it. We'll do a little more long form.
Yeah.
Really get
We'll
into
do
the
it
nuts
right.
and bolts because
Yeah.
Do it
I
right,
I
guys.
know you guys have
Do it
just
right.
a mountain
a lot of
treasure
stories.
chest of
A lot of
stories
A lot of good
that.
stories.
Oh yeah.
Go check them out. Quasi, April 20th, Hulu.
Thanks, guys.
Boom.
Thanks for
you.
having us. Yeah.